Hi queer friend, it's so nice to see you again. Whether we're already friends on TikTok or it's our first time hanging out, I'm thrilled to have you here. We live in such a dark time right now and queer voices are being silenced. As your cis femme lesbian sister, it's very important for me to have our voices be heard. I've always been the loner, the outcast, and the misfit. I felt silenced. Our stories should be told to help each other connect, learn, and grow. I've asked you to share your stories so your queer journey can be told. If you want your story told and your voice heard, feel free to send it to my email. We're gonna get vulnerable and get deep. So get something soft and cozy, bring a snack, and let's chat. Growing into myself, an account of my transition so far. I have only been out of my egg for a few months now, but I celebrated my first birthday knowing who I am, finally figuring out I'm trans in 2025, and my mid-30s was not on my bingo card, that's for sure. If you rewound to the beginning of this year and asked me who I was, I probably would have said something like a good husband, a good dad, a good friend, maybe a good employee, and that was it. If you took those roles away, I felt like I didn't exist. I did not know who I was beyond that. I did not know who I was beyond what I did for other people. I was in therapy talking about exactly this hollow feeling under all the "I'm fine" lines. Over a few sessions, my therapist circled around the disconnect. That sense that I was living a role instead of a person. One day, she looked at me, very gently asked, "Have you ever thought about being a different gender?" I, in full denial mode, said something like, "Of course I do, but so does everybody." It is just random thoughts. When I think that, it is usually just a brief moment and I push it away. It turns out that is not something everybody thinks, and definitely not a recurring theme. She suggested I see a gender-affirming therapist because she suspected I might be dealing with gender dysphoria. I knew what that meant. My moms are gay and I grew up in and around queer communities. The concept is familiar. The idea that it might apply to me was terrifying, especially this year. That was in February. A few weeks later, at the end of February, I got laid off. Therapy stopped. I never went to the gender-affirming therapist she suggested. I told myself I would keep everything locked up, that it would not append my life, my marriage, or my family. I tried to shove it all back in the nope box in my mind. But once you know, you know. I started quietly exploring long before I admitted it. Little flashes of light, little slips in the armor, things I would immediately shove down so I would not have to look at them too closely. About a year before I ever stepped into therapy, I remember scrolling online and seeing a transition timeline for a woman who, at her before, looked almost exactly like me. Same broad shoulders, same tired eyes, same guarded smile, even the same shaved head from trying to manage a receding hairline. Her after photos felt like a glimpse into another universe. She looked radiant, soft, and beautiful, herself. I felt this rush of euphoria when I saw her, like the door in my chest cracked open. I saved the picture without thinking and held onto it like a secret spark. Then the shame hit. It was a suffocating wave of, no, we're not doing this. I hid the photo in my phone and then a few days later, I deleted it. I felt like if I erased the evidence, I could erase the feeling too. That moment was the first time I ever saw past the "I would never be pretty enough" dysphoria. It was the first time I believed deep down that I could be her, I could be myself. But I am stubborn and I was not ready to really learn that yet. So I slammed the door shut and went back to pretending nothing had shifted. Looking back now, I can see exactly what was happening. I was subconsciously trying to patch the cracks in my egg, covering the truth with denial and fear, but the crack stayed and it kept widening no matter how hard I tried to smooth it out. In retrospect, it all makes sense. I had mostly female friends growing up. I felt safer and valued with them, like an imposter with male friends and the secret girl clothes I would hide in my closet when I was younger. I told myself back then what I was chasing was a forbidden thrill, but now I know it was gender euphoria. I did not have language for that yet. One memory that still hits me, 7 years old wearing my cousin's Princess Jasmine pajamas and wishing I was a girl, or later wanting to wear a dress to my 8th grade graduation. I did not wear it. I hated that I wasn't brave enough to do that. I grieve now for that little girl who was trapped in the boy's body. I did not know you could turn a prison into a home. For years, one of the loudest echoes in my head was, I would never be beautiful enough. They'd always know. I weaponized that thought against myself as proof that I could not be trans or really anything. I poisoned the well with self-loathing and doubts of my worth. I see now that that was dysphoria talking, not truth. The pair of panties that changed everything. In the middle of all the quiet chaos, I bought a pair of femme-boy panties online. Just a small something I planned to try on in private, just to see how it felt, to see if those feelings were real. I fully intended on keeping it a secret forever if they were, and live the rest of my life as a man on the outside. Then, my wife opened the mail. She saw them and assumed reasonably for a married couple that I was trying to spice up our love life. She encouraged me to try them on later. So after our little one went to sleep, I put them on and walked into the room feeling like a live wire, vulnerable, anxious, hopeful, and scared. She looked at me and said, those are cute. I smiled, nervous. She must have sensed my anxiety. She gave me a gentle smile and said, "You look beautiful. Not handsome, not sexy, not any other adjective. Beautiful." That word hit me like a freight train. The same word I could tell myself I could never be. My walls just crumbled. The euphoria, the relief, the feeling of finally being seen rolled over me. I could not hold it back. I came out to her that night. It was July 19th. We talked and cried until 3 in the morning. For her, it felt like losing a husband she thought she had. For me, it felt like stepping into myself for the first time. Through all of that, she wanted me to be happy. Her support never wavered. Back then, our marriage was in flux. Everything felt unstable. We were trying to understand what this meant for our relationship and our family. We had some miscommunication early on that added to the hurt for both of us as we tried to find a way to describe our needs and feelings. Now we are in such a different place. We have had the hard conversations, the grief, the confusion, and we've come through with more certainty. We know this will work. My wife has been coming into her own identity too. She used to call herself bisexual and thought it was funny that she married a man and would joke that I loved her like I was a lesbian. Turns out that was not really a joke, but an observation. She is in a sapphic relationship and I am a woman, and suddenly everything makes sense. She is still my biggest supporter. That has never changed. A silly little purchase cracked both of our shells and somehow set us free. And they aren't even really cute. Dysphoria, doubt, and the body that never fit. I was about 320 pounds when I started this journey. Before I began HRT, I wanted to show myself the care I had neglected to give my body for so long, so I set the goal of being 200 pounds. It's not that I needed to earn it or prove anything to anyone. As I grow into my most perfect self, I want to feel good and build habits that serve. I want to be healthier and live longer than I ever expected to, because most of my life I couldn't see myself that far ahead. I am giving myself a future now. I am already halfway through the initial weight loss goal. I am doing it in a safe and healthy way. That means plenty of movement, exercise that will help my figure later on. It's always leg day, and eating habits that nourish me. It feels good to care for myself with intention instead of punishment. It feels like building a life I want to live in. While I work on that, I have been doing the internal work too. Journaling, reflecting, letting myself connect the dots I ignored for so long. Getting back into therapy. I am realizing that my entire life has been basically a dysphoric blur. I'm only now learning that it does not have to be. Some of it's physical. Bottom dysphoria. I rarely enjoy using the equipment. For years I convinced myself I was just being an attentive partner, but the truth is I simply don't like that part of my body. Some of it's emotional. I look in the mirror and still not fully see myself. I know I am in there somewhere, but she's not visible yet. On hard days I think if I looked the way I feel inside, maybe the world will believe me. On better days the dysphoria is quiet and I wonder, was this all in my head? I remind myself often that nobody chooses this on a whim. It is too hard, too risky, too full of loss, and the guilt about nearly throwing my marriage away still echoes. But I am starting to see that this is dysphoria too, not reality. If a bridge burns by me living my truth, it was never safe for me to cross. And small things show through now though. Maybe my eyes are more alive and vibrant in the mirror. I feel like the way hands look with nail polish, my legs feel right in leggings, my walking sways my hips more, and there's purpose behind my steps. I move every day towards the me that I dream of, the me that I've always been and am meant to be. I see myself now through a lens of love, safety, stealth, and the man job. Right now, I work a very physical man's job. The environment is toxic and openly hateful. I am surrounded by bigots, and anything outside of the worldview makes you a target. So I am self for now. I keep the beard. I dress the same. I do nothing that could out me at work. It is a safety decision, not an identity. At home I breathe, I shave, I epilate my legs, even when I put it off. Ouch. I have a few pieces of clothing that feel like me. I practice my voice, I build a skincare routine. These small private steps are affirming without putting me in danger. Hope is hard. Some days it feels heavy, but I remind myself that I'm preparing for the life I want. I used to think I was raising a daughter to be a dragon slayer in a time of dragons. It turns out I was training both of us. My marriage and the messy middle. We've been together for 10 years and married 7 in December. My wife is incredible. She's the strongest, most authentic, loving person I've ever known. And if that wasn't enough, she's an incredible mother and chooses love every day despite the home that raised her. At the beginning of my transition, she was scared. She felt betrayed. She questioned whether my attraction to her was real, or if I just wanted to be her instead. That hurt, but I understood that she felt blindsided. Over time, as we talked, things shifted. She started to be honest with herself too. She might be bi, but she always favored women. I am a woman, and changes will happen to reflect that. Who I am, who she is, haven't changed. They've been brought into focus. Suddenly, the fears stopped being so sharp. She calls me her wife more freely now. She uses my name. She supports me with her whole heart. She's still learning, but she is in my corner. Sometimes I used to wish that I could shove it all back into the shell to keep our marriage unchanged. Now I know this is how we keep it. My daughter is 4. She still calls me my wife Mama and Dada interchangeably. In her mind, we are still a single parenting unit, I think. Honestly, I take it as a compliment. I will tell her everything when she's old enough to understand. For now, I keep it quiet to protect my safety and prevent accidental outings from her sharing. She loves talking. With anything and everyone, we never know what she'll say. I hope one day she's proud of me, proud that I was brave enough to be myself, proud that I love myself enough to change. I hope she does not take 30 years to learn what I finally did. There's a section about my friend's name that I'm going to leave out just for privacy purposes, but just know it's really beautiful and it's talking about finding her name. I will share that her name means a bright, shining light, a torch, a sun ray, she who intoxicates or bringer of joy. It means radiant light that brings joy. We found me and it expresses both who I am and who I will be. A promise to myself that I am worthy and this is the right path, the light at the end of the tunnel. My old name spoke of courage, loyalty, and structure and endurance. It was a maker's name, grounded and precise. This new name does not erase that. It transforms it. The builder becomes the light bearer. The architect becomes the artist. Same roots, now reaching towards the light within. Community, sisterhood, and being seen. Other trans and queer folks have carried me through this. Late night conversations, sharing jokes, shared grief, shared joy. Every time another person says, I see you, I feel a little more real. I joke that I'm collecting sisters, but there's truth in it, although it's more accurate to say siblings. There is no one right way to transition. Some people do not have intense dysphoria. Some people do not hate their assigned gender. They just they'd rather be something else, and that is enough. The question is simple. Do I feel I should have been a woman, or that I am a woman, or any other destination on the spectrum of gender? Yes. So I am. Where I am now. I am in the in-between. Stealth at work, beard still on, halfway to my first weight goal, practicing my voice in the car and learning to love myself. My marriage is stronger. We have chosen each other again. Her as a lesbian, me as a woman, and the both of us as parents who want to build a life that is honest and loving. My moms know now too. One of them joked, well, it's not like you're a woman or anything, while we were discussing my marital struggles at the time. Then she saw my face and immediately knew and cried. We cried, we laughed. I guess that's how my story goes. Always unplanned, always imperfect, always perfect in the rear view. There are days that dysphoria is brutal and days it is quiet. Days I am certain and days I doubt everything. On those days I think about the little girl in the princess pajamas. The teenager who could not wear the dress. The adult who bought the panties just to try and felt seen. I think about how my heart jumped when my wife called me beautiful. I think now about how insert name feels when I say it out loud. I think about my daughter and the day she will understand. I hope she's proud of me. I hope she learns to love herself faster than I did. I cannot change the years I spent getting there. I like to think that I'm just a late bloomer, but I can grow into the woman that little girl inside me needed. I can be the voice that tells her it's okay, and that she's valid and perfect for myself and for my daughter and maybe for others walking this path. I'm not all the way there yet, but for the first time, I'm on the right road and I'm loving the woman I'm walking toward. My friend also inserted an AI photo of their childhood self and their future self, and I thought that was so beautiful. Thank you, my friend, so much for sharing your story, and I'm so honored to give it care and allow your queer voice and journey to be told. I hope this resonates with other people. Please share what resonates with you and what's helped you on these days. I'm so incredibly proud of you for choosing yourself. I know your daughter will be too. You are setting an amazing example. Thank you so much for listening. I had a really beautiful time hanging out. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.